Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come, and our deliberation is so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, honorable members. Welcome to this sitting. And so I'll call upon our clerk to take us through.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Under this one, we have Honorable Dominic Maida. Okay, I'm informed that the member is not around, and also the member who sought the statement is still not around, and so we may just proceed.
Order number 8, motion, approval of report on budget implementation for the Department of Health for the first and second quarters of the financial year 2023-2024.
This one, I think it's for Honorable Vincent Mutie, Chairperson Health and Emergency Services Committee. Maybe you may just give the members some highlights before we continue with the debate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Vincent Mutie, and I'm rising to present to the House the implementation status of the first and second quarters of the financial year 2023-2024 according to the Department of Health. Honorable Speaker, I do not intend to read the preliminary pages of the report. With your permission, I will proceed to the committee observations. That is in page number 5. But perhaps to indicate the subject is the overall budget for the financial year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly approved the Health Department's total budget of 5,310,183,576, comprising of 4,345,380,767 as the recurrent budget, and 964,802,809 as the development budget. These amounts are based on the revision of the budget through a supplementary budget appropriation act, with the latest being done on the 16th of April 2024. The committee observations are as follows. Implementation status. Honorable Speaker, according to the status report presented by the Chief Officer dated 16th February 2024 and referenced as such, which is annexed to number 1, the absorption rate for the departments and the programs for the first and second quarters for the financial year 2023-2024 is as follows. The table is outlined below. General administration and support services recurrent is 60.7%. That is the absorption rate. The development was 14.6%. Machakos level 5, recurrent 74.4, development 0. Kankundo level 4, 68.4 for recurrent and development 0. Matu level 4 was 58.5 for recurrent, 14.2 for development. Kathiani level 4 was 52.8 for recurrent, 0 for development. Mwala level 4 was 67 recurrent. Kimiti level 4 was 67.7 recurrent. Masinga level 4 was 87.5 for recurrent. Adriva level 4 was 58.8. Mutituni level 4 was 52.5, whereas Ndidini level 4 was 56.5. Kalama level 4 was 66.3. All those did not manage to absorb the development as at that time. The public health recurrent was 49.1%, 39.6 for development. The total was 61% in average for recurrent and 16.5 for development. Honorable Speaker, the committee discussed the budget implementation report for the first and second quarters from the of the financial year 23-24 from the department and made the following observations. The recurrent budget under general administration and support services includes monies for basic salaries, allowances, electricity bills, water and sewerage charges, and fueling and maintenance of office vehicles for the department. That the recurrent budget under the various hospital programs and the public health program is used for medical drugs, dressings, non-pharmaceuticals, medical items, chemical and industrial gases, laboratory materials, supplies and small equipment, food and rations, other fuels, including wood, charcoal, and cooking gas, payment for contracted guards and cleaning services. As at 31st December 2023, the absorption rate of votes for purchase of medical drugs for most of the hospitals was between 43 to 50%, except for Machakos level 5 and Masinga level 4, whose expenditure was 98.7 and 97.2 percentages respectively. Expenditures for dressing and other non-pharmaceutical medical items in Machakos level 5, Kangundo, Kathiani, Mwala, and Mwala level 4 hospitals was 0, while in Masinga, Adriva, Mutituni, Didini, and Kalama level 4 hospitals, the expenditure was 47.5%. The absorption rate for chemicals and industrial gases for all the hospitals as at 31st December 2023 was above 95%. The absorption rate for laboratory materials, supplies, and small equipment was at 0% and stated to be at procurement stage, except that of Machakos level 5, which was at 45.8%. The budget expenditure for foods and rations, for food rations, was above 95% for all the hospitals according to the report of the Department of Health. The committee also observed that the absorption rate for other fuels, that is wood, charcoal, and cooking gas, for all the hospitals was at 0% and stated to be at procurement stage. The committee noted that the absorption rates for votes on contracted guards and cleaning services was above 90% for all the hospitals as at 31st December 2023. The committee observed that the absorption rate for the recurrent budget, according to the department's report, was 61%. The committee observed that the following capital projects were captured to have been done and paid as at 31st December 2023. Maintenance of CT scan at 1.8 million shillings. Purchase of software, that is the health management and information system, at a cost of 79,907,879. Capital transfer of Danida funds to level 2 and level 3 hospitals at 15,285,875. Construction of Masi level 4 hospital at a cost of 17,638,140. Construction of CT scan building and casualty wing at Matu level 4 hospital at a cost of Kenya shillings 5,686,977. Phased construction of levels 2 and 3 facilities at a cost of 61,118,022 shillings. The committee observed that the absorption rate of the development budget, according to the department's report, was 16.5%. Implementation status of the same, the first and second quarter, according to the controller of budget. Mr. Speaker, the first comparison was as per the report from the department, and this one is as per the controller of budget. The Office of the Controller of Budget is established under Article 228 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010 as an independent office. The functions of the Controller of Budget shall be to oversee the implementation of the budget of the national and county governments. A report on the performance of the department for the first and second quarter of 2023 was received from the Controller of Budget. This is in line with provisions of Article 228 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, which provides that every 4 months the Controller shall submit to each House of Parliament a report on the implementation of the budgets of the national and county governments. Honorable Speaker, this committee also considered the report of the Controller of Budget and compared it with the department performance for the first and second quarters of the 2023-2024 financial year. The report of the Controller of Budget is as follows. Health and emergency services, budget allocation, recurrent in million, that is 4,277,000,000. Development is 1,095,025,000. Exchequer issues was for recurrent 1,775,093,000. For development was 0. Expenditure for recurrent was 1.97 billion. For development was 0. Expenditure to exchequer as received was 110%. Absorption rate was at 46.1% for recurrent and 0 for development. Honorable Speaker, there is a report on the execution of the budget, which is as outlined in the table number 3. And unless it is of much importance, I had wished to skip that table. Honorable Speaker, the committee discussed the budget implementation reports for the first and second quarters from the Controller of Budget and made the following observation. The absorption rate for the recurrent budget was at 46.1%. The absorption rate for the development budget of the Department of Health as at 31st December 2023 was 0. Responses from the County Executive Committee member on the budget implementation report. Honorable Speaker, the committee requested for information. I am reading bullet number 33 regarding the first and second quarter from the County Executive Committee member for the Department of Health through a letter referenced as such dated 28th March 2024. That is the second annexure of this report. The County Executive Committee member for the department responded through a letter as referenced therein, annexure number 3, and stated the following. Regarding the expenditure of the vote for purchase of medical drugs in Machakos level 5 and Masinga level 4 hospitals being 98.7% and 97.2% respectively, yet the financial year had 6 more months to be covered. The CSM responded that the initial budget allocated was not sufficient and a supplementary budget had been approved by the County Assembly on the 16th April 2024 to replenish the votes. On expenditure of the votes on chemicals and industrial gases for all the hospitals as at 31st December 2023, being 95%, the CCM also stated that the initial budget allocated was not sufficient and a supplementary budget had been approved by the County Assembly to replenish those votes. On why the absorption rate for the laboratory materials, supplies, and small equipment was at 0% as at that time, yet the supplies of the same commodities in hospitals was wanting during the time of consideration. His response highlighted that the department had since utilized the money to a tune of 7.9 million against a budget of 8 million, equivalent to an absorption rate of 99.45%. Regarding the budget expenditure of votes on food rations for all hospitals as at 31st December 2023, being 95% for all the hospitals, the CECM specified that the initial budget allocated was not sufficient and the supplementary had been approved to replenish. On why the absorption rate for other fuels, that is wood, charcoal, and cooking gas for all the hospitals was at 0% as at that period. He stated that he stated that it was at the procurement stage, and the CCM in response said that the department had concluded the procurement process. The suppliers were currently fulfilling their delivery obligation. Concerning the absorption rates for the votes on contracted guards, cleaning services being 90% for most of the hospitals, the CCM stated that the initial budget allocated was not sufficient and supplementary was to follow. The committee findings. Honorable Speaker, based on the above observations, the committee made the following findings. Sufficient budgets were not apportioned for key recurrent vote lines in the department, such as purchase of medical drugs, chemicals, and industrial gases, food rations, and services like contracted guards and cleaning. That is why the budget appears to be overused in the initial periods of the financial year. The department the department delayed procurement processes for all the capital projects because as at 31st December 2023, the absorption rate of development budget was 0% according to the Control of Budget report of the first half of the financial year 2023-2024. This means that most of the capital projects in the department had not commenced as at 31st December 2023. According to the departmental report, the absorption rate is payments processed up to the level of internet banking. While absorption rate, according to the controller of budget, is the actual payments, hence the discrepancy of reporting. According to the department's report, absorption rate for development budget is 16.5% and 61% for recurrent, whereas the COB reports the absorption rate for development and recurrent as at 0 and 46.1%. Honorable Speaker, this means that once the department has processed payment, despite whether that money has been released from the control of budget, the department marked that as a consumption of the development budget. That is why you find that at the department they are pointing out they had a development consumption of 16.5, whereas the control of budget is saying that it was at 0. So they had already done the work, finished the procurement, the work had been executed, and they had also processed the document for payment. According to them, they had finished that bit. So they recorded that as work that has already been done and paid. The department delayed in responding to requests for information by this committee. For instance, quarterly reports are supposed to be submitted to the county assembly on time. However, the department forwarded the first quarterly report for the current financial year on 16th February 2024. Response to a letter dated 3rd April 2024 to issues raised on the report was received by the committee on 23rd May 2024. Honorable Speaker, that is more than a month. This, of course, affected our timelines of finishing the writing of the report. The following are the committee recommendations. Honorable Speaker, the committee, having done the above findings, recommend as follows. The department should present proposed estimates to the county assembly that are commensurate with the usage and workload. This enables the county assembly. This will enable the county assembly make appropriate decisions when appropriating funds during the budget approval process. For instance, the department should ensure key vote lines like purchase of medical drugs, laboratory supplies, and food rations are adequately budgeted to avoid shortage of such commodities midway the financial year. We further recommend that immediately after approval of the county budget, the department should start preparation of the procurement plan so as to ensure the capital projects are initiated in the second quarter of the financial year. In future, this House should consider apportioning development budgets based on the absorption rate of the previous financial years. We also further recommend that reporting on absorption rate should be based on the actual payments as indicated in the controller of budget report, not on financial commitments made by the department. We further recommend that quarterly reports and any other information requested by the committee from the department should be submitted within required timelines. Conclusion. Honorable Speaker, allow me to conclusion and an acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, allow me to acknowledge the Department of Health for fulfilling their constitutional mandate of submitting the departmental performance report for the first and second quarter of the financial year 2023-2024 according to the Constitution. I wish to appreciate the Health and Emergency Services Committee members for their dedication during committee sittings and compiling of this report. Honorable Speaker, the committee expresses gratitude to the Office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk of the County Assembly for the continued and relentless support received as it discharged its oversight mandate. It is therefore my duty on behalf of the Health and Emergency Services Committee to table this report and recommend it to this Honorable House for consideration and adoption. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Vincent. I now invite members to debate the motion. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I want to thank the Chair for the Committee of Health because of a well-articulated report. The Department of Health, as we know it, consumes much of our budget, of the county executive budget, because they offer a very essential service. From the report, I've taken two things. One, that there seems to be a low intake on the development expenditure of every other vote. That is worrying because it means we are not expanding the health sector infrastructure. We are relying on what is there. If you look at the expenditure, the recurrent expenditure of MACHAKOS level 5 as opposed to the other level 4 facilities, it can tell you where the bulk of service is being offered. And that is why, as the area MCA, I keep saying we need to empower, because I think the recurrent expenditure for MACHAKOS level 5 is more than 97%. It means most of the services are offered here. And that's why I'm an advocate of supporting the regional hospitals, the one in Matu, the one in Mwala, the one in Kangundo, the one in Kadhiani, the one in Mulolongo, at the river, so that we decongest the level 5 facility. Number two, I've heard the chairman read about absorption being low on some essential recurrent expenditure like drug. And that's why we are hearing people saying they are going to the hospital and they are not finding drugs. So we'll urge the department, the County Department of Health, to ensure as much as possible they absorb so much of the health budget, because it's the largest in the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Judas Ndao, representing the great people of Matu. I will start by applauding our most able chair, together with the committee members, for coming up with this brief and self-explanatory report. They have done a wonderful job. Honorable Speaker, coming to the issues that I want to raise is, well, the first one is the issue of drugs. Honorable Speaker, as we try our level best to ensure that services are given to Mwananchi, Honorable Speaker, we have some challenges, especially on each issue of requisitions. Honorable Speaker, I understand that requisitions are done quarterly. And once requisitions are done per quarter, what is given to the facility is either 1/3 of what has been requested, or whatever has been requested, or 2/3. So that means there is a balance which is not delivered to the facility. So, Honorable Speaker, I would request the concerned department to ensure that whatever comes from the facility, because the person who is requesting for those supplies is the one who knows the situation at that facility. So the issue of requesting for 3 months, then we get something which is going to take us 1 month, it means the other 2 months we are going to learn without drugs. And that is why we have a lot of noise in this county. So, Honorable Speaker, this is an area that I feel we should now stamp authority to ensure that the facilities get what they request for. On issue of the contracted services, especially cleaning services, Honorable Speaker, I want to cite an example of Matu, level 4, whereby a contractor was given that tender, and it's by last week, the employees who are not employees of the county, they are employees of the contractor, had not been paid for a period of 5 months. Honorable Speaker, it is very unfair. It is very unfair. I personally went to Matule for 4 hospital, and I found one lady with the 2 kids sleeping just outside the latrines. When I asked, why do you reside here? I was told that the house that they rented in Matu was closed because the husband had not been receiving salary for the period of 5 months. So, Honorable Speaker, I would request the concerned department again, once they give contract to somebody, they should also make a follow-up to ensure that that particular person does not use other people without paying them what they are supposed to be paid. Honorable Speaker, we were forced by circumstances to organize ourselves and organize how that lady, together with the 2 kids, can go back to their house. So, Honorable Speaker, the noise we are getting from the residents, some of them are genuine, are very genuine. Honorable Speaker, another time we heard another noise coming from Kangundo level 4, whereby patients were going without food. That one also comes to the issue of supplies. This is the highest decision-making organ of this county. And the residents of Machakos County government, Machakos County, expect a lot from this. I'm very sure Her Excellency may not be aware of what is happening. But we must be clear that in the law of agency, we recognize 2 parties. We have the principal and we have the agent. And there comes the issue of delegating. Honorable Speaker, delegating is transfer of duties and powers or authority from a senior manager to a junior manager. So, Honorable Speaker, once somebody has been assigned to do something, and maybe that particular person, because the excellent governor assigned the minister and the chief officer to act in that department. And now, the chief officer and the minister are now delegating to another person, who is the contractor, to go and do that job. The issue of supervision must be there. You delegate and supervise. Otherwise, people may do what they are not sent to do. So, Honorable Speaker, we are not going to joke with issue of health department. Anyone here, I'm very sure once you are not well, you go to those facilities. We have our parents who go to those facilities. We have our kids who go to those facilities. So I'm calling upon the chief officer, Department of Health, to ensure that we minimize all the noise that we are getting from our health facilities. Again, Honorable Speaker, we have a challenge with the issue of fueling our ambulances. And one thing that I'm worried about, Honorable Speaker, whenever I get a call from a patient or relative of a patient that we have been referred to Machakos level 5, and we have been asked to fuel the ambulance, fuel, worthy, when they come into Machakos is 4,000. Going to Nairobi is about 6,000. One thing that I don't understand, Honorable Speaker, the patient is referred and is told fuel. Once they call me, I call the facility, fuel is available. So, Honorable Speaker, this is something we must check. If in the morning you had no fuel, and after receiving my call, you have fuel, what does that mean? It means that many people suffer in hands of those who are manning the facilities. So I would request the committee to make further scrutiny to unearth what is happening in our facilities. I ask that the governor is on record requesting us to assist her deliver to the electorate. And the only way we can assist, I ask the governor, is to ensure that we do proper oversight on what is happening. So, Honorable Speaker, I support the report and request the committee to also visit Matu Level 4 Hospital and see what is happening, because there are so many things lacking. In fact, Matu is the only Level 4 Eastern Central Africa without a morgue. The only one, Eastern Central Africa. But I believe our excellent governor has good plans to have that facility in place. So I do support the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. I was trying to imagine where you go with the source of that information, that it is the only facility in Eastern Central Africa. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Constance Bula.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Constance Mbulanzioki, nominated by Lord Chap. Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate the committee on the report well presented. However, we have a lot of issues in that health department. Apart from having no medication, no medicines, there are so many other things. I'll give you an example, Honorable Speaker. Today morning, one of my staff woke up very, very sick. In fact, he couldn't walk. And I directed that he be taken to Level 5 hospital. And he said, no. Mama, I would rather be here and give me Panados. I asked him why. He said, because last month and many months ago, I've been there, I've taken my family also. But the waiting, the queue, the services, the staff have just relaxed. They will pass you there. Even if you are dying, they will look at you and pass. I do not know this committee, whether you visited the facility and saw what is going on every day. You pay for the card and you sit there like forever. So for that matter, I directed that he be taken to a Level 2 in our place. It's called Kaseve. Kaseve, there is always one very good doctor and there is no queue. And we appreciate. Another time, this committee should take time and visit all the facilities. There is another one in Mutituni also. I understand it's also treating people well. But in Machakos, kindly check what is happening first to the staff, because somebody has a wound and you need to be dressed. Sincerely, you ask to buy gloves. 20 bob. We need to ask ourselves, what are we doing here? If my mother will go there and be asked to pay for 20 shillings for gloves, hand gloves, are we gone that low? Has our facility collapsed? Apart from that, food is also essential. Life is very essential, because if you have no life, then you are not living. We visit these facilities because we are unwell. Ask me. I am one of those people who was very sick in a few days ago, and I saw myself going. But thank God, where you go and insurance pays, they are active. and they look at you. So please, this committee, look into those things and make sure our facilities are working well, because we must take care of our people. And without us, I do not know who else will talk for them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I wish the committee well. Go and visit other hospitals and know what's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Constance Bulla. And you found you are going. Where are you going, Honorable Member?
I was going to heaven.
Oh.
At least not hell.
Sorry for that.
Yes, thank you very much. And I think people should take examples. If you have visited the hospitals when you are, and I think Honorable Ndi is one of us. You know what it means. You go there and you are asking God to help you. But before God helps you, those people with medicine must come to you. Here in our county, they don't care. They don't bother. I do not know. Please, kindly find out what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mbula. Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Committee on Health for the comprehensive report. But I've picked a few items, and Mr. Speaker, it appears like the report received from the Control of Budget and what was shared by the department, there seems to be some discrepancies. I think what needs to happen to ensure that the two committees mirror each other is to ensure that, because if the department is reporting on an accrual basis and the Control of Budget is giving a report based on the actuals, then there will always be that discrepancy. And that's why every now and then you are seeing members of public questioning how come internally we are saying we are spending a lot, but when it comes to the Control of Budget reports, the picture is normally completely different. So we need to agree on a standard way of reporting to ensure that whatever we feed to the public at the point when the Control of Budget is giving the same report mirrors what is actual. Because if you have allocated money and you have not spent, then those funds are not assisting anyone. And we'd also like to ask the committee also to make a follow-up, because I don't know, the department keeps insisting that they are purchasing medicine on timely basis, they are spending so much on it, but there is no single day you will walk into our facilities and get express services. Every now and then, if you go today, either there are no essentials or there are no drugs. So we want the committee to go and check and present a report to this house, because unless I'm informed otherwise, procurement for drugs normally happen on quarterly basis. So if you purchase drugs for that are only supposed to serve for a month or two, then definitely the other part of the quarter will expect to have shortage in terms of drugs. So the people responsible need to make sure that at the point of procurement they get it correct, because these hospitals are only important and valuable to the community if citizens and people of Machakos can walk in and get the services that they are going for. And Mr. Speaker, if you also look at the report, there is a lot of resources that are being spent on CT scans maintenance, but most of the time when our constituent come to Machakos level 5, in a day, as an honorable member, if you are lucky enough not to receive 2 or 3 calls from them asking for a top-up to go to Doctor's Plaza
or the German Center for CT scans, X-rays, if you go a day without getting such a call, as a speaker, you count yourself lucky. So the question that we are asking, these CT scans machines that are being maintained, who do they serve? Because if we have machines that are being serviced, we expect them to render services to our people. But every time you go there, a very simple thing like an X-ray, you are being referred to Doctor's Plaza. So, are there cartels or people who are colluding with those ventures to make sure the committee has been on the forefront? So, what we need is to support them, hear our voices, because when there is food in the hospital, you cannot hear people complaining. But when people complain, the people who are tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that there is food, instead of addressing the issue, you saw last time, instead of addressing the issue, they took Waebo and had working governor to go and take her around and give a misrepresentation to Her Excellency that all is well. But the actual thing is that there was no food. So we need people who are genuine and who are dedicated to serve the people of Machakos, because there is something you cannot hide. If you go to an hospital and there is no medicine, there is no food, you might want to hide, but you cannot run away from it, because that is normally a direct feedback that you will get. If the CT scan machines are working, I will not receive call from the people of Kinanye asking for top-up because they have been referred to Doctor's Plaza. Same case, Tundalani, he will not receive calls from the constituents or any other member, because this is something that you cannot hide. It is normally either it is working or it's not working. So we need to re-emphasize, and even if it means sacrificing or foregoing some expenditures in some non-essential services to make sure that our hospitals are working, then we need to take that route, because health, water, those are two critical departments needs to be addressed well, and to ensure that the health of our people is guaranteed. What we have in level 5 is just a structure. And this is an hospital that has a reputation, that has a capacity even to serve beyond the people of Machakos County if things are done in a proper and a correct manner. So what we should ensure, one, is to ensure that the regional hospitals, especially the level 4s, let's have them equipped. And we want to congratulate Her Excellency and the Department of Health for seeing it fit to make sure Matu level 5 is equipped with those machines. That is also another way of decongesting. We want to see the same happening in Mavoko, in Athi River level 4, and Kangundo, and probably in Mwala. This will ensure that the commotion that comes here is reduced, and if the only pressure will be coming from people from outside Machakos, then we can have a model where if you are not a resident of Machakos, then you pay a different rate because you are coming for referral services. But that can only happen if we have an efficient and a functional system that ensures that things are working. And finally, maybe from the committee, I know this was not dispensaries, health facilities that were done across almost all the 40 wards. 1 year down the line, they are still not operational. That is money that is lying there. So we need to have those facilities up and running so that they can start serving and addressing the health gaps that were identified before they were closed. Because like a place in Kwambo, in Kinanie ward, we are eagerly waiting. The dispensary, once it's operational, it's going to be a game changer. But if it is delayed for a long time, then we might lack an opportunity to enjoy it optimally. So we request the committee to engage and probably give us a report on exactly when we expect to have them running. But so far, so good. But in terms of health, there is a lot of room for improvement, and I believe it's possible for us to serve and provide better health care for our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kavyu. Honorable D.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You have correctly mentioned my name. I'm D. Once upon a time, I was a member of that committee, and I meant good for this county. I've heard what minority leaders said, that the governor had instructed us to help her improve our health department. I remember one day, me and the chairman and Mheshimiwa PK went to a DG hotel in the river to meet one of the transferred senior health workers who had raised the same issues. I stand here vindicated. I remember in the Bible, St. Paul, when St. Paul was arrested and was to be taken to Rome for trial. When they went near the sea, he advised the captors that the sea is not calm. Let's wait for 3 weeks, then you'll take me. He was told, and I quote, a prisoner has no moral authority. So they went into the sea. They stayed there for 3 months. When they eventually landed in Rome, he told them, "Takekani kuombewa."
Honorable D, are you really in order?
I am in order. I'm coming.
Kindly stick to the motion.
I am coming. It is only that I am taking a longer route. But I want to tell you.
Take a short one?
No. My predecessor, the person who left the podium, spoke for 10 minutes. And he also took a longer route. I want to say this.
What I'm trying to say is just stick to the motion.
I'm in the motion, Madam, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is true we have problems in the Ministry of Health. And most of the problems originate from this house. You will not believe me, but most of the problems are connected to members in this house. They don't want to help the governor, they want to help themselves. We have suppliers, everybody is connected from this house. It is less than 5 members, including myself,
Honorable
who don't have people in the Ministry of Health.
I think you are out of order. Kindly stick to the day's motion.
Lastly, I want to say this. I know you don't want to hear, but that is the truth. If we improve our health facilities,
you can come up with a motion over the same.
If we improve services at our health facilities, we will have helped the governor deliver our mandate. And now that the CCM and the CEO are not there, I think the committee, together with the chairman, from today, they will have more gusto to help the governor deliver. Because I remember previously when they had issues, they would be called to party headquarters and to go slow. But I think now the the chair of Health Committee will have our support to help the governor deliver. And currently, I'll bring a motion to the effect that when a CCM resigns or is sacked, the chair of that relevant committee acts as the acting CCM. Thank you and God bless you. I support the motion.
Thank you. Although all through you've not told us anything about the report. Honorable Kitaka.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I am Honorable Kitaka, representing Dalane Ward. I arise to support this report, and I will want to make some few observations that are coming out clearly as to why our facilities are not performing to the levels that are required to. Mr. Speaker, you realize that we are having a situation whereby levels, our inventories are not well kept when it comes to supplies, when it comes even to the most basic items that are required in every facility that we are running as a county government. It is worrying that in the first half year report, we are having institutions that are utilizing over 98% of their already estimated requirements for the whole year, hence necessitating for a supplementary budget to be allocated. What does this mean? We need people who are accountable, people who can be progressive, people who are taking their jobs very serious in terms of, because if you are running and you are head of an institution, you are able to know the consumption of that particular facility. When you are making a requisition or budget for budgeting, it is important that you also do a plus, a percentage that will also take care of any increment that comes during the running of your facility. So it is important that our officers who are also running these institutions, that they give the right quantities, the right requirements of their facilities, so that at least each and every facility runs smoothly without any problem. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to development, this is one of the departments that this assembly assigns the biggest chunk of development money. And for the first half year, you'll see that in some of the facilities, it was recording zero. It is important that we also engage our officers to make sure that they do timely procurement so that we can utilize the monies assigned for development. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to development, I want to give an example of Ndalane Ward, where I represent. The Department of Health was good enough to assign some few development projects in our area. We have a facility at Kivingori Dispensary that is was given out, and the contractor has been there for a while now. Unfortunately, the project is like it is stalling. The contractor is nowhere to be seen. The same applies to a facility that was given a ablution block at Kiwanza Dispensary, whereby it is very unfortunate that, Mr. Speaker, the dispensary is already closed for the last 3 months because it doesn't have a toilet and it cannot operate. Since the contractor took over the job, it is now 3 months. Doing a toilet for 3 months. I have made efforts to reach the department. Unfortunately, the waziri has resigned, but I know there is no vacuum. So it is important that when we give tasks to be performed, let the people who are taking over these tasks understand that they are dealing with the most delicate department. Because health department is very key to our people, and it is the immediate department whereby we give our picture, we point our abilities, because our people every day visit those facilities. In terms of drugs and other necessities, it is important that we also check on our inventories very well. We gave money to this department for automation. We shall be seeking the same information from our chair so that maybe the committee can check with the department whether the system that was deployed is a system that gives real-time consumption of the items that are required in that facility and all our facilities that are running across our county. So that at least the concerned officers, while seated in Machakos, at Machakos level 5, can easily tell the quantities and the consumption of these necessities, while seated, without visiting. Because if we automate a system, we are using a system, it is important that we note it should be able to give us real-time answers and also replenish our stocks timely, so that at least our people don't suffer, they don't work in facilities, and they are not served. Honorable Speaker, we have a very competent chair of this committee. It is important that this House supports this committee so that at least we help our governor to achieve and deliver to the people of Machakos. It is important that all the budgets that are given out from this House are spent in a manner that is targeting our people and in a manner to ensure that we deliver services to the people successfully. I hereby support the report and urge the House to support the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Francis. And before I call the chair to reply, Honorable, I would request the committee to move around on that issue of ambulances and maybe get to know what's the problem with the ambulances. Sometimes you'll find them they are in good working conditions, but they cannot. They are not being used, and until such a time when maybe we are called by the residents or patients, it's when now you'll see the ambulances working. It is an area that we need to check on, the issue of ambulances, as I also appreciate that we are getting a level 5 at Matu. I know our level 5 will decongest level 5 in Machakos, and that we probably we will have Machakos level 5 being decongested. It is a facility that covers a very big, wide area, and some of these issues are expected. Then 3, there is a problem with our clinical officers, our staff who works in those facilities. There is rampant drunks are being stolen from those facilities. Just recently, one of my facility was stolen drunks worth 475,000. Some weeks ago, level 3 in Kitangani and also and the same, Kiva and Kaewa. And I'm very sure some of the surrounding chemists are the ones that buy those drugs. So I don't know what we are how we shall work on that. You know, our Honorable Deputy President tried to put some traps at the State House, only to find that Baba had gotten inside the State House. I also don't, so for us, I don't know what we are going to do, at least to make sure that drugs are only used in our facilities. If we can manage that, our health sector could be doing well. So, Honorable Chair, you may come forward and reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'd like to do a quick response. And I wanted to demystify the discussion of the ambulances. Honorable Speaker, it is also prudent for the members to note that the management of ambulances for referral was moved from the health department to decentralized units. That is part that we might not be able to address ourselves very much because the chief officer whom this department is, whom this sector is under, is much aligned to the decentralized committee, devolution committee, decentralized, yes, unit committee.
I hope we have members here from that same committee. Maybe
yes,
they are placed to deal with that.
Yeah, that is the bit. There seems not to have been an alignment to the extent that emergency services now and firefighting now ceased to be part of the health and emergency services department at the executive. So much of those responses can be provided by the DU committee. Also, it's important to know that the patients now become the responsibility of the hospital the moment they are handed over to the hospital. The transit is much out of the hospital system. In regards to the equipping and operationalization of dispensaries, we did inquire from the department, and they said that they have done procurement for the equipments, and they are waiting for placement of staff. There was an advert of about 327 health services workers, and I believe that they are waiting for that so that they can place both the staff and the equipments. The equipments have already been purchased. Concerning the CT scan that the Honorable Francis indicated, the committee, in our report, we pointed out about a construction of a CT scan building and casualty wing at Matu Level 4 Hospital. The maintenance that is mentioned at a cost of 1.4 million is for the existing machine, not a new purchase. We did also point out that, or rather, we did hear a member raise an issue about the discrepancy between the departmental report and the COB report on matters of absorption. It's important, Honorable Speaker, for members to know that the department doesn't have end-to-end procurement right. So there is a stage where now the department doesn't know what is happening beyond that point. So they can only report that is within their table. So when they say we have already done the procurement, the work has been done, we have done all the documentations, they might not be in a position now to know whether that money has been paid, because now after they are through with the documentation, it becomes now the responsibility of Department of Finance to carry out the remaining activities. So since now the department doesn't have those end-to-end rights, perhaps that can be another subject of discussion as to how we can realign our procurement process so that now department can have individual responsibilities to respond on some of those issues. When they say that we have already absorbed at 16.5%, and control of budget says no, it is zero. Control of budget is saying the money that we have approved for payment is this much. So they are basing on that. The department on their defense, they are saying we have worked. It's only that finance has not paid. It is not our work to pay. So we have to be careful not to bash the department so much as though it is an end-to-end responsibility for them. In regards to the Matu Level 4 facility, the Honorable Minority Leader has developed a character of comparing everything with the external world, not because we are not aware of that, but simply because we cannot be able to confirm. I do not know whether he did a study to compare Matu Level 4 and other facilities regionally to come out with that conclusion. But we do believe that, yes, Level 4 of that age of Matu should have some essential services. And I think the department is working to fast track and to improve that facility. At least I am informed that there are constructions going on in Matu Level 5, and a lot of improvement and facelifting is happening, at least to help the people of that area and the entire Yata Masinga area, which is served by Matu Level 4. In regards to the Honorable Constance, who had pointed out the issue about the services at Level 5 compared to Kaseve dispensary. It's also critical to note that if Kaseve seems to work well, it implores me for the assembly and members to encourage our people that instead of rushing to Level 5, you can first use the facilities that are available locally so that we can try to decongest. Also from the department, we are trying to implore on them on the need to equip the lower levels so that minor ailments do not have to find their way to Level 5. Because when you find, actually when you come to Level 5, the congestion is at the outpatient. And most of these people are treated and can go home, meaning that there are cases which can be handled at Level 4, can be handled at Level 3, can be handled at Level 2. So we have done several recommendations to the department so that they can look at the whole sector with an intent of localizing treatment of basic ailments so that we can leave Machakos Level 5 to be the apex of the referral system and to address more critical and serious issues. Finally, Honorable Speaker, I like to encourage all of us that as we do our work, the health sector being a service sector, it covers the ordinary citizen, that person who cannot afford to pay an insurance bill so that they can be covered in a more expensive facility. Therefore, the intent of our encouragement is so that
Chair, I would want to I don't want to be a little bit brief because we do not extend time, and I can see we still have another motion. So just try to be brief.
Yeah, I'm finishing. Actually, I'm finishing because the health services is a service sector which addresses problems of the common person, and the common person is a person who elected us both at the county assembly and at the executive, I think it will be prudent that we help the government by doing the right oversight. I call it the collaborative oversight, whereby we point out the mistakes, we point out the challenges, but we also propose solutions to the challenges that we could be having. Otherwise, I thank you and the honorable members who contributed, and thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I now put the question that this Assembly adopts the report of Health and Emergency Services Committee on budget implementation for the Department of Health for the first and second quarters of the financial year 2023-24 as laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 25th June 2024. As many as have that opinion say aye. As many as have the contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, alteration of the calendar and adjournment of the House.
On this one, I call Honorable Majority Leader Nicholas Zioka, MCA MACHAKOS Central Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that, notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 20th February 2024, that is approval of Assembly calendar, 21st February, 15th May, 18th June, 9th July, and 6th August 2024, that is alteration of the calendar, and pursuant to standing orders 25 sub-order 4 and 27 sub-order 3C, the Assembly resolves that the calendar, that is the regular sessions, for the third session of the third Assembly be altered to adjourn its sitting from today, Wednesday, 14th August 2024, after the morning sittings, and resume its regular sittings on Tuesday, 27th August 2024 at 10 a.m., and that the Assembly calendar regular sessions for the third session be altered accordingly. I call upon the Minority Leader to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority and Minority Leaders. I now propose the question that, notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 20th February 2024, approval of the Assembly calendar, 21st February, 15th May, 18th June, 9th July, and 6th August 2024, alternation of the calendar, and pursuant to standing orders 25 suborder 4 and 27 suborder 3C, the Assembly resolves that the calendar regular sessions for the third session of the third Assembly be altered to adjourn its sittings from today, Wednesday, 14th August 2024, after the morning sitting, and to resume its regular sittings on Tuesday, 27th August 2024 at 10 a.m. and that the Assembly calendar regular sessions for the third session be altered accordingly. I now invite members to debate the motion. Okay, then I call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it's important that I expound why we sought the adjournment. It's basically for members to be trained on generation of business for the House, among other things. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. I now put the question that, notwithstanding the resolutions of the Assembly made on 20th February 2024, approval of Assembly calendar, 21st February, 15th May, 18th June, 9th July, and 6th August 2024, alteration of the calendar, and pursuant to standing orders 25 suborder 4 and 27 suborder 3C, the Assembly resolves that the calendar regular sessions for the third session of the third Assembly be altered to adjourn its sittings from today, Wednesday, 14th August 2024, after the morning sitting, and resume its regular sittings on Tuesday, 27th August 2024 at 10 a.m., and that the Assembly calendar regular sessions for the third session be altered accordingly. As many as have that opinion say aye. As a member of the contrary opinion, say nay. And the ayes have it. Thank you, honorable members. And the House adjourns on Tuesday, the House adjourns to Tuesday, 27th August 2024 at 10 a.m.